And one high-impact first step when teaching kids to celebrate people and cultures other than their own is to diversify their playroom. Diversity, equity, and inclusion expert Dr. Sabina Bassine is also a mom and child psychiatrist and believes playrooms matter and can help us raise kids who celebrate differences in cultures and people around them. Hello, Dr. Z.
Hi, Aubrey. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm excited to talk to you about this because as a mom of two boys, I am curious about what my kids know and how I can get them to better understand their surroundings, the other kids around them. Talk about how important this is.
So, diversifying your playroom is very important because it starts early. We can start it, like I've said before, as early as 2 years old, and it can go all the way up to when your kids are 16 years old. And the importance is that when we are introducing toys, books, digital things, that it's important to show them that there are other cultures and other people out there and live different lives than we do.
It is so important. The other thing I consciously tried to do as a mom is to diversify their actual play group, making sure they're around different types of kids in different settings, really getting to know lots of different cultures that way. But when we talk about the playrooms, how do we even start to diversify them?
Well, the best thing I say is to start young, to start early. And to start with, we have so many toys out there that you could diversify with food. There's sushi platters. Melissa and Doug have come out with some great toys. In Kids has some great culture boxes that we put out there for children as early as 4 years old that you can start giving them books that are also part of that too. Books are the most important along with music. Music is great too in our playrooms.
Yeah, that is true. And you said they could start early. So are we talking about like 2?
Absolutely. 2 years old, children are already noticing the differences in our eyes, in our hair, in our skin tones, and they actually mimic us as parents and see what we see and what we react to. So if we're starting them early, 2 years old is the earliest you can start them.
And I guess you're saying to really just normalize all these different cultures that may be different from theirs that they may experience so that when they do encounter them, it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, and we can promote it through games, inclusive toys as well. We can also look for diverse dolls. We can also look for crafts that we can give multicultural. Crayola has come out with some amazing crayons that actually show our children the diversity of color and color of skin.
And how else can this help maybe once they do start going to school and they're in the classroom and things like hate and bullying became a little bit more obvious to them?
Yeah, so the importance of starting them early is, especially as young as preschool and elementary school is that we're exposing them to different people, different cultures, and then teaching them to accept individuals exactly as they are. So once they're in middle school, then they already know that this individual is from this country and this culture and this heritage. And you'll see a decrease, especially in like lunchroom bullying, making fun of other kids because of their appearances, or even because of the language that they come from. We have a lot of ESL issues, and that's where we see a lot of kids get made fun of. So you'll see a decrease in that if we're starting them early and diversifying our playrooms.
What about some golden rules? Do you have any for how parents can create fun and interactive playrooms?
Yeah, number one, it doesn't happen overnight. So take your time. Make sure that you are looking into the right type of toys. It's like you said, Aubrey, you also want to diversify their play groups. So if you have friends that come from different cultures, bring in those kind of cultures and those toys. So when those kids come together, they can definitely look into that. So first of all, it takes time to build these. And remember, when you're choosing them, reflect what they're interested in. So if your kids like books, put books out there. If your kids like dolls, put cultural dolls out there. If your kids like to do crafts, put crafts out there, or even in kids' cultural boxes that represent different countries.
Any other tips on how we can build a playroom that will really have lots of different kinds of representation?
The number one thing is expanding your playroom, like I said, with different types of toys. One is you can get foods, different type of foods for their kitchens, for their crafts. Also, you can get different crayons, games that promote inclusivity and diversity. There's some amazing games out there, which is Respect Your Neighbor. There's board games that kids can have. And then especially, I always say, is books and music to bring in. We have some great books at In Kids, and we have some great resources at In Kids for all these different brands that have some diverse toys.
Well, Dr. Z, I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking us through this, giving us ideas on diversifying our kids' playrooms. Appreciate you. And if you want more on helping kids learn through play, you can check out inkidsco.com.